Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the College Town Podcast. My name is Derek DeBurger. With me is Sam Roth.
How we doing?
You should subscribe. No, today we talked about a lot of college basketball. We talked about which teams we think have been disappointments thus far in the year, and which teams we think would have a chance to make a tournament run.
Absolutely.
Because we're getting there. We're getting close. This
Best time of the year?
It is the best time of the year. This episode will be posted on the second to last day of January, so we're almost out of the dog days.
Sure are.
We also talk about Jim Harbaugh and Sherrone Moore replacing him, even though we were a little late on that. We talk about Keyshawn Battle getting arrested, former LSU wide receiver. Deion Sanders and Colorado's recruiting violations. And then we talk about
Big Ten shaping it up.
Big Ten, yeah. But more importantly, we talk about coaches that potentially could be in the hot seat for college basketball after the firing of Tony Stubblefield.
And also how Derek despises Joe Lunardi.
Yeah, no, he sucks. That's actually like the first thing we talked about.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you in the episode.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the College Town Podcast.
That is the name.
Yeah, there's a "the" there. I'm the Derek DeBurger.
And I'm the Sam Roth.
Yeah, football's dead. No one cares about it.
Oh, poor you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, poor Zay Flowers.
I don't want to talk about it.
He's going through it,
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh.
Look, we had a great week of basketball. They're all great for the most part. Sometimes early season they're not because people played nothing but
Hey, we're getting
like
close.
D2 teams. But
Hey, we're getting closer and closer now to people starting to care about it. We're like 2 weeks away, baby.
Oh, yeah, we are 2 weeks away.
We are, aren't we?
Well, I mean, as soon as college football ends, there's a huge, wave of like, all right, time to care about college basketball. But then once the Super Bowl's over, everyone's like, okay, March Madness.
What do I need to know for my bracket, basically?
That's all it is.
Let's see.
It's everyone just crams for March Madness.
How do I win this work bracket?
Yeah, they're like, who's the best teams? Who are the sleepers? Who's Cinderella? Who's Cinderella? And it's like, we don't know. We don't even know the tournament bracket yet.
I mean, we have some ideas. I mean,
I know.
I've already got like some ideas on who I like for like Cinderella's. That 12, 13 seed you might think is a little something, something.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. That happens. Happens every year.
Absolutely.
If
that's
you
the
watch
magic
it,
of March.
Yeah. If you watch it, you can kind of get the sense of like teams that are, maybe a little overrated because of, preseason hype or early season hype, whatever.
Let me tell you a team that's on my radar right now, and I think they're going to be like a 7 or 6 seed. It's going to be New Mexico. New Mexico right now is flying.
Rich Pitino's a good coach.
They are rolling through the Mountain West right now, and looks like they could probably win it.
Yeah, he's a very good coach.
Yeah.
I want to mention this. We've had a discussion about this some time ago, but Joe Lunardi, terrible. Joe Lunardi sucks.
Does he?
Yes, he is awful.
Why is that?
Because he's so bad with the teams that are going to get in.
I don't think so.
I think he is. And let me tell you why. You have automatic bids.
Right.
Like, how many automatic bids are there? It's like 30.
The 31, I believe.
31 automatic bids.
I think there's 31, yeah.
That's 31 teams. You don't have to guess. You know 31 teams. Every team in the top 25 that didn't win, they're in. Let's say 14 teams in the top 25 won their tournament. That's actually not really plausible, but let's say 14.
Right.
That leaves you, 11? So now you're up to 42.
You basically got to guess 20.
You got to guess 26.
More or less, yeah.
He's terrible at guessing the 26.
I mean, he usually only gets about like 5 or 6 wrong.
He's pretty bad at it, though. Like, there are people that are significantly better than him, but Joe Lunardi is the guy that everyone pays attention to just because he kind of created bracketology. He's terrible. He's so bad.
You want to do it this year?
Are we gonna? What do you mean, the bracket?
Yeah, you want to build your own bracket, see how you fare? Not what you think, but what you think they will do. You want to see how accurate you can be?
Sure, I'll try.
Let's give it a shot. Let's compare how you are to Joe Lunardi this year.
Why not? Yeah, I'll try.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right, that'll be fun.
Suck it, Lunardi.
Do you want to do like some blind tests where it's like you got 3 teams and you got to pick one that's in and see which one was the tournament team that got in? So we could do like a before and after. Like you got like the net rating, you got like their quality wins.
I mean, we could do that afterwards.
Like compare the resumes.
Sure.
On that Monday.
Sure.
When
Sure.
the bracket comes out on that Sunday selection.
Yeah. That's gonna be a fun show to record.
It would be honestly a fun show.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
But yeah, no, let's get to this past week. There were some good upsets.
Quite a few actually. I mean,
some that I'm not really that shocked over.
No, like Alabama at home against Auburn with the lights out.
Yeah.
Alabama was actually favored in that game.
Yes. And here's the thing about that, in my eyes. Auburn was number 8.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, huge win for Alabama. But the thing is, Alabama's one of those teams that they played a lot of tough teams, haven't gotten over the hump yet, haven't gotten that good win.
Right.
Auburn is a team that
hasn't been tested.
They haven't played anybody.
Right.
So it's like, can you really say this would be a big win for either team, honestly? I mean, I know Auburn was rated number 8 in the country, but like, is that really a big win for Alabama?
I mean, in the sense of like right now, it's like a 3 or 4 teams in the SEC that are vying to win it right now between Auburn, Tennessee,
Kentucky,
and Alabama.
Yeah,
I would say that is a big win towards Alabama's
in the conference. But like, as far as like building a resume, which I think it's still a quad 1 win.
Oh, it definitely is.
I think that might be Alabama's. Is that their only quad 1 win?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
I'll look it up, but like, it's not. It doesn't do much as far as like helping out their resume for tournament time because they still need a lot of help. They're like 13-6 or something right now.
Honestly, I don't know. Personally, I don't know about you, but we do rankings each week. I'm going to rank Alabama this week.
I'm not there yet.
I'm ranking them this week. I will have them around like 23, 24, but I will have them in my rankings.
I mean, I don't hate it. You know, their offense is
phenomenal.
It's incredible, but the defense is not good this year.
Mark Sears is point guard leading that team.
Okay, so they have 3 quad 1 wins,
which isn't bad. It's just the issue is they have
3 and 5.
But the other thing about it is that like out of all their losses, they have 6 losses, and 5 of them are quad 1, and 1 of them's quad 2. And I still don't believe there's such thing as a good loss, but they've tested themselves, and I feel like they're going to come out of it, and they're going to be. We'll see where they are. I mean, really depends on how they fare in the SEC, but I honestly believe Alabama's a good team.
I think you can have a quote-unquote good loss depending on the circumstances. But at the same time, like when too many of them like pile up, it's like, okay, you're losing.
Yeah, this team can't figure it out.
You might be playing close games against really tough opponents, but you keep losing.
All right.
And so that's
one team I'm on the up and up about.
I'm optimistic about them too. They got just housed by Tennessee.
Yeah, they did by like 20. It was rough.
I was like by 30 almost.
It was like 91-71 or something like that. I want to say.
No, I don't even think it was that close.
It was a 20-point game, I believe. But so I'm on the up and up about Alabama. I'm down right now about FAU, the team that I thought could win the national championship.
They got the same issue as Alabama, but their offense is not as good.
Dude, they struggled against Tulane. They struggled against North Texas. FAU and like Memphis, the American to me is just not that good this year.
I mean, no, it's not. You're right. They did lose by 20, by the way.
I put it on the nose, didn't I? 91-71 too.
Yeah. No, that's kind of miraculous. FAU is that team that overachieved a year ago.
Sure did.
And then just doesn't live up to the hype.
See, I wasn't believing you.
Every single year.
I didn't believe you, but now I'm like, okay, I see it. They just went on a good run. And I was like, oh, they only had 4 losses, last year. They got to be good, right? And then they're just squeaking by North Texas 66-63 here. Another team.
Well, they had 4 losses all of last year, and that includes the Final Four loss.
Right.
They already have 4 now.
Right.
So.
And then also you got. Here are the teams that I'm down about right now that I was very high on. I was very high on FAU. They're struggling right now. I don't even know if I'll have them ranked this week. Another team that I thought was very good that is struggling, that usually puts away teams, is Gonzaga. Gonzaga against San Francisco at home only won 77-72. Was not very impressive. I'm not surprised if this year St. Mary's goes out and wins that Western Coast Conference now.
I wouldn't be surprised either, but here's what I think about Gonzaga. I think they're on the up and up. And not as far as
historically
that, but also like I don't see a tournament run.
No, I don't. I don't see a tournament run.
But I just think that they stumbled early on several times. They lost some bad games. They lost some games against teams that were just better than them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've kind of like, it got shaken into them a little bit. Like, okay, we can't just like put on the jersey and have it say Gonzaga and we're good.
Right.
We got to win. We got to actually go out there and fight and compete. Yeah. And I think they're playing harder. They're playing better. I just don't think that they are a second weekend team this year.
No, they're playing close to teams in the WCC that they normally aren't playing close to. So, they lost to Santa Clara. That's their one loss right now. They play St. Mary's this week at home, and they have to win that game to have a shot at winning the conference. And St. Mary's, according to the metrics, has a phenomenal defense. The offense is a little shaky, but the defense is there for St. Mary's. So I'll be interested to see how that game goes. Other teams for me that I think at preseason I thought were great that aren't turning out to be that great, Kansas and Texas. I feel like Kansas right now I thought would be like the number 2, number 3 dog, and it's looking like they might be 4 or 5 in the Big 12 behind Texas Tech, Iowa State, and Houston.
Iowa State, though, they're different, though. They're like 13-0 at home this year, and they're like, what is it, like 2-4, 2-3 on the road? Yeah, like not even on the road, just away from home because they played neutral site games, I believe.
If you can protect,
it's that Hilton home magic, man. They are tough at home. They are a tough out. And I just
see, here's the thing for me about like the Big 12 is like I feel like Houston's on top. I can't really decipher 2 to like 7 on who's like.
Yeah, no, Houston's kind of separating themselves.
Houston definitely I feel like has separated themselves. I can't really tell who the second best team is in that conference to like the 6th best team in that conference. Which makes it for very exciting basketball to watch as a spectator.
I mean, it's a fantastic conference.
But then it's also like, all right, Houston's elite. Who is going to try and join them?
Baylor has the potential to be, but they really have not. They've hit a rough patch.
Yeah, they went into triple overtime against TCU.
Yeah. Kansas, I'm not super shocked about Kansas. It's like
slide?
Yeah, because there were so many games earlier in the season that they were down 10 in the second half and had to come back to win. I'm not shocked at all that Kansas is dropping some games. I still think they're good. I still think they have talent. The biggest thing with Kansas is DeJuan Harris has to look to score the ball. I mean, it is night and day when he is a pass-first guy versus when he looks for a shot.
Really?
It's not even comparable.
I would feel like he would be like the third option on that team, but behind Kevin McCullough and Hunter Dickinson.
I think he should be the third option, but I don't think it should be such a gap. And also, oftentimes I don't think he is the third option because he takes himself out of that option. He puts others
try to facilitate more.
Yeah, he tries to get others involved before getting his own. And I don't. He hasn't caught on. Bill Self, for some reason, isn't hammering it in his head like, hey, man, get yours. Score.
Right.
And so I'm not shocked by Kansas. I still think they're good. I just don't think they're going to have a tournament run. A long one, that is.
I mean, do they make it to the second weekend?
They could, yeah, absolutely.
I would agree with that.
But
man, Auburn had a rough week looking at it.
Oh, no, Auburn had a terrible week.
Auburn lost to Alabama, and then they also lost to Mississippi State. That's rough.
Yeah. Texas, I want to say about Texas. I said this the second week of the season. I was like, I don't think Texas is good this year. I don't think they're good.
You're right.
Yeah. And then they went out, they beat Oklahoma.
Is Texas a tournament team this year? They're
in the bubble.
They're bubble in it?
They're definitely in the bubble. Oklahoma is definitely not what what we thought.
Well, it's also, I feel like Oklahoma is in the same boat as Auburn. Wasn't tested.
Oh yeah,
getting into that onslaught now. It's
weak schedule.
It's like oh, they're undefeated going into Big 12. They might be something, And it's
they had one loss, but it was
right, exactly. But they were undefeated
UNC.
for a good period of time.
They started off like 11-0 or something like that.
Right.
And same thing with Clemson. Clemson.
Oh my gosh, I thought Clemson was going to be could arguably win the ACC this year.
I wasn't buying it.
Well, I mean, at the start, it was they had that big win over Miami when Miami was ranked 8th, and you're like, oh. Mm-hmm. But Miami had a rough week that week because they lost to Kentucky, and they also got.
No, Miami beat Clemson.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
honestly, the ACC sucks this year, other than Duke and UNC.
Yeah.
I mean, who would be the next teams in if ACC would be Wake Forest?
I think Wake Forest should be in.
Florida State.
Wake Forest got off to a real bad start. Florida State's playing themselves in the tournament, honestly. They were very competitive against North Carolina.
I don't know who else would get in. Is Virginia
North Carolina
good enough to get
and Duke
in?
are definitely in. Virginia needs to, stack some more wins or
figure out that offense apparently.
Florida State, I think Florida State needs another run of wins, And they have to do well in the ACC tournament. They don't necessarily have to win, but they have to do really well down the stretch.
Oh.
And then Wake Forest, I think, is the last team that's okay, they could get in.
Mountain West is
Miami has too many bad losses. Virginia Tech, not that good. NC State, not that good.
Clemson's fallen.
Yeah. I mean, there's some teams in the ACC that have decent records overall, but once you
Notre Dame and Louisville.
Yeah.
Too soon?
Yeah, Notre Dame and Louisville. Yeah. Anyway, killed the mood there.
I had to. I've honestly kind of stopped watching.
I can't. I get paid to.
I know you do.
I get paid.
Is it torture at this point? Wait, don't comment on that. All right.
You want to get into the news?
Sure, let's get into the news.
Yeah. It's a quick one because we missed it last week.
We didn't really miss it. It wasn't officially announced yet because legally by Michigan, the job has to be offered up for 7 days.
Seriously?
Yes. Law in Michigan, any public office or public job has to be
position.
Public position has to be up for at least 7 days.
Didn't know that.
So, Sherrone Moore got hired as the new head coach for Michigan. Was this the right hire? Short answer, yes.
Yeah, I mean, for how late in the season it was, yes.
Yeah. Harbaugh's off to L.A. to coach the Chargers. Said at the Ravens-Chiefs game that he loves Michigan and he loves the NFL too, but there's no Lombardi Trophy in college football.
There is no Lombardi Trophy.
So he has moved on.
Yeah, so Sherrone Moore, we'll see. We'll see.
The only other Big Ten coach to beat Ohio State.
Yeah. Now Texas is the only. I mean, everyone has been saying this. Beat us to the punch. But Texas is the only playoff team that still has its coach.
Washington, Alabama. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Took me a minute, but yeah.
Yeah. So Sherrone Moore, new guy. Uga. Rip. Uga X. Uga 10. Georgia's mascot died. Sure. He was a good boy.
Good boy.
He was a real good boy, but we're on to Uga 11.
Sorry to hear about it, Athens.
LSU has a former wide receiver, Keyshawn. Is it Keyshawn or Keyshawn?
I'm not sure, honestly. It
says Keyshawn.
He's been arrested in Louisiana, but he currently plays for the Patriots. Yep.
Played. I don't think he's going to play for him anymore.
We'll see.
He placed over 8,900 bets while at LSU.
Over the course of the 2022-2023 season or the 2021-2022 season?
That was one season?
It was over the course of 2 years.
2 years? Okay.
2 years. 2021 and 2022 or
That's
2022
crazy.
and 2023.
That's insane.
So it's roughly, if you do the math, there's about 730-ish days. No, 730 days in 2 years. 365 times that by 2. Yeah. So he placed 8,900 bets. All of the ones that were betting on LSU were all betting on him and his props or betting on LSU to win It's kind of funny. He was just kind of like, there was jokes made online where it was like, yeah, he like looked at the scout and he was watching the film. He's like, oh, we're going to dog these guys. Let me place the bet in right now. He deposited a total of $132K into his account. He won just a little over $500,000. And then once he was done making his bets, withdrew $50,000 out. So my estimation is that he lost around $82K because he put in 132, withdrew 50. Doesn't seem like he was an all-star bettor when it came to this, even with quote-unquote insider information.
I mean, betting is gambling. This is sad to me.
Yeah.
This is super sad because, like...
It was illegal, too. It wasn't even, like, legal in Louisiana.
Yeah, like, I mean...
And underage. He was doing it underage, too.
Yeah, the whole... he placed almost 9,000 bets.
Almost 9,000 bets
in 2 years. That's clearly a gambling addiction.
Hey, he was betting some baseball. That's all I gotta say. It's the only thing that, like, there's not enough football games in the year to bet 8,900 bets.
Yeah, I mean, that's gambling addiction.
And it also just let you know it wasn't like, you know, so when you bet, you can also do like legs. So like you can do like 3 games, put them together for like a 3-leg parlay. That's one bet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. The other funny thing is that like he wasn't trying to hide this. Like he was illegally gambling. His usernames were like Keyshawn Battle 7 was his like username, and then like Keyshawn Battle 05 was like another one that he used. It was like it was very clearly and obvious whose account it was when he was betting.
But I mean that's no, it's just
no.
It's really sad. Like schools need to.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Schools don't need to do anything about
schools
this.
need to do something about it.
What needs to be done?
This is clearly a gambling addiction.
Yes, and it's sad that it's happened to this poor man.
Yeah,
but
you just gotta give every resource you can.
What can you do?
It's so accessible to people at such a young age.
It sure is.
And so, like, schools need to try and like teach people about just how dangerous gambling can be. You know, like why you shouldn't gamble, especially in their positions.
Oh,
I think they do that, but you know,
you shouldn't do it just purely because this is the only way that you lose sports, in my opinion. Once you lose the integrity of the game, no one wants to tune in and watch. You lose. I mean, this is the one outlet where you will truly lose sports. If it's rigged or frauded or whatever, why tune in? Why watch?
Yeah.
There's already people saying that there's a script for the NFL.
Yeah, but that's because people are stupid.
Right, exactly. So, and they won't turn in and watch because they feel like the integrity is lost. This is one way where you can truly lose the sport.
And, I mean, it's sad. Also, gambling companies.
They're everywhere now.
They've got to. I don't know. They should definitely allocate more resources to like funding like addiction prevention. But they're never gonna do that.
It's kind of hard when you got a sponsor that's a gambling company or a casino or something, or it's paying for. I mean, come on, think about it. Like the Saints have like Caesar's Dome or whatever it's called. Like, I mean, like it's a conflict of interest to try. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know.
And it's everywhere. Like, I don't think you can go now one commercial break without watching sports at a high level and not see an ad about gambling. Bet now at MGM. Bet now at Caesars. Yeah. Bet now at FanDuel or DraftKings.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but we're probably as humans, we're probably just doing this trial by fire of like, there's going to be enough stories of like, oh no, my uncle lost everything gambling.
Yeah.
You know, that my friend, my dad, I lost everything gambling, you know.
Right.
All because I thought I had a real good hang of regular season women's college basketball. Those dang officials. But
yeah.
No, I mean it's probably where we're headed, unfortunately, but yeah. We'll still take a sponsorship from a gambler. I'm not saying like, look, if FanDuel or like Churchill Downs wants to Twin Spires, they want to sponsor us, we'll take it.
I was say gambling's fun. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm this side of the couch.
I'm so risk averse. I don't ever gamble.
I know you don't. And here I am, putting your Derek's picks into an account.
Yeah, because I'm a fiduciary. I only have your best interest in mind.
We didn't hit a single one this year.
Because you jumped in late.
Yeah, we should have got those gimmies out with the head while we could.
We're going to tweak the rules next year.
All right.
All right, one more football one, and then we're back to basketball. Colorado self-reported 11 minor NCAA violations. It seems like they're all recruiting violations.
Mainly stem from the use of social media by Deion Sanders. I don't think anything will come of this.
No. They'll pay a fine and that's it.
Right, basically.
Especially because it's self-reported.
Right.
This happens all the time.
Right.
But it is just funny that, like, this happens all the time, but 11's still, like, a lot.
Is it, though?
Normally when they're, like, self-reported, it's, like, 3, 4, 7.
Alabama reported 9.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, Ohio State
ultimately, these recruiting violations probably amount to, like, making a video and putting a recruit's name in it.
Oh.
Like, that happens all the time. I don't know why that's not legal.
Oh. But apparently it's you're willing to do it and pay the fine. Because if you know it's a violation and you self-report it, but you still do it, obviously the punishment's not severe enough to prevent you from doing it.
Absolutely. Because if it's severe enough, you just hide it.
Or you just don't do it.
No, trust me, you just hide it.
Right.
I'm aware how the world works.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's this is the same thing that Dino Gaudio tried to extort Chris Mack for.
Oh.
Which it's like, dude, these are low-level violations. Like, relax. But, I don't understand why it is, why it's outlawed. I think a lot of people are probably going to jump on this and be like, Deion. Oh, that Coach Prime.
Well, it's also just magnified, I feel like, because
absolutely
it's Deion. You don't really see this as a story.
Prime time.
With any other program, it's like it just sweeps on the rug. Oh,
everything he does, prime time.
Well, yeah, it's under a magnifying glass.
Yeah. So,
I've never seen any team get more looks than 4 and 18.
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube. I've never watched it. I've just seen the thumbnail, but it's like the most overhyped 4 and 8 team in history.
I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Yeah. Didn't help that TCU was overranked, and then they beat the...
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That didn't help. Anyway, back to basketball. The good one. Not in the eyes of, America and the media.
I think you're just hurt from
interest.
Last night.
No, I like basketball more.
Oh.
But no, I am very upset about last night.
Yeah.
Defense held Mahomes to 0 points in the second half, and we couldn't win. It's fine. It's fine.
I just love rookie wide receivers making taunts after 54-yard plays.
Stop. And then fumbling at the 1 yard line because he doesn't tuck the ball in. I'm not gonna talk about it. Look, the Big Ten, because they are about to expand to 18 teams. Because the Big Ten is about to expand to 18 teams. Obviously, the traditional scheduling models for all their sports are kind of thrown into flux. Normally, they were the first to usher in the 20 game league schedule, conference schedule, which is 20 conference games in a season. Mm-hmm. They were the first to do that. Now that's pretty standard place for most conferences. They have announced that they're going to remain at 20 teams.
20 games.
20 games, that's what I meant to say.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to remain at 20 games for conference and basketball. And then also, they're only going to have 15 teams in the Big Ten tournament, which will leave 3 teams out.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, look, the bottom 3 are just going to be, like, terrible, terrible teams.
So, let's think. Right now, that would be
in
Michigan,
the ACC, In the ACC, it's bottom 2 are Louisville and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Then maybe Georgia Tech.
Terrible. I think Georgia Tech, yeah.
But then, like, for the Big Ten right now, it would be Michigan. Is it Rutgers? I'm not sure, but I know Michigan's at the
Rutgers is like 500 right now.
But anyway, it's like 3 teams will get left out. It will definitely help the competition of the conference. Michigan, Rutgers, and
Penn State.
And then Ohio State, maybe.
Penn State is below Ohio State.
I mean, they're the same conference ranking.
What are you talking about? They have a worse record.
Yeah, but that's overall.
We're not going to talk about this. This is hypothetical.
Right,
that doesn't exist.
But, right, it doesn't exist. But, yeah, and then they're going to also add 4 teams. So, I mean, historically speaking, Washington just sucks at basketball.
Yeah, Washington's not a great
basketball
school. USC's been okay. I mean, USC's always had talent.
Yeah.
They've put a lot of guys in the NBA. Andy Enfield, oh my God, USC, I do not know how they're not good this year.
They're not.
They have absurd talent this year. It's all young, but they have a lot of talent, and they're just bad.
Yeah.
They're just so bad.
They're not going to I don't see them as a tournament team this year.
Well, they're like 4 games below 500.
The Pac-12 also just sucks this year.
Yeah.
Outside of like Oregon, Colorado, and Arizona.
I would say outside of Colorado and Arizona. I don't think Oregon's that good.
What about Utah? Utah's all right.
No, I don't think so either.
I think they can make the tournament. Those 4 teams.
I don't think Utah's that good.
All right.
But anyway.
But yeah, I think I'm not sure about it, but I think it might be the first time that not everyone makes a conference tournament. Because usually it's like, okay, for college basketball, it's like, technically speaking, you don't have to get good till late February to make the tournament and maybe do something with it.
Absolutely.
Now, with this, you got to be somewhat decent throughout at least starting in, November? December? No, January. January is when conference play starts.
I mean, January is when it gets in full swing.
So, I mean, like...
Big Ten does 2 conference games in December, though.
Oh, okay. But...
They're like the ACC.
I mean, more or less, January is when you now have to be good if you're in the Big Ten.
Yep.
Because technically, all you need to do is just go on a run of winning like the last 10 games of the year, and you win a national championship.
Yeah.
That's all it really takes.
No, absolutely. I had a professor who she played college basketball at Colorado State.
Mm-hmm.
Her senior year, they were the best team all year, Mountain West.
Mountain West, yeah.
First round of the conference tournament, they get upset. And all of a sudden, she's like, okay.
Season's over.
Yeah, we're not going to the tournament.
Yep, just like that.
And she hates the rule that you have to, the automatic qualifying rule. She hates it so much because, she lost. But
I get that.
I never said anything, but I was like, it's more fun. It's more fun when there's automatic qualifiers.
It is, though, because...
I hate to break it.
You have teams that have no right being there.
Absolutely, yep.
And then they somehow find a way to win as a 2 versus 15, or on the rare occasion you got 2-1s going down recently.
Yeah, but
I mean, come on. If we didn't have automatic qualifiers, we would have never gotten Florida Gulf Coast versus Georgetown.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like some moments in like.
We wouldn't have got Princeton last year.
No, wouldn't have got
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Nope, wouldn't have got UMBC.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, I like it. I'm actually okay with this. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, sure. I don't care about the bottom 3 teams in any conference.
In like a major conference too.
Yeah,
I would say this.
Any conference, I don't care.
I don't know though. If it's like outside of the top 8 conferences, I'll say, just spitballing here.
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, like, after that, you got, like, the WCC. Like, all 9 to, like, 31 are, like, just automatic bidder qualifiers. The rest of them are not getting that large bids. You might have a rare, like, A10 team where it's, like this year it might be Richmond and Dayton get in. Or you might have the WCC where it's, like, St. Mary's and Gonzaga get in.
Maybe.
But, I mean, like, you really don't have, like you have Indiana State and Drake might be good enough in the Missouri Valley this year. I mean, outside of that, it's like you don't really have like teams that are going to automatically qualify in these conferences.
Yeah, a great example is the Ivy League. Princeton, I think they just lost, but
Yep.
Princeton is far and away the best team in the Ivy League.
Compared to, it'd be them, Cornell. Or Yale.
Yale is like a step behind them.
They're all undefeated right now.
No, Cornell just beat Princeton.
So then Yale and Cornell are undefeated.
Yep.
Then. But yeah. And then the unfortunate part, all this regular season play won't matter. It's going to come down who's going to win those games in that tournament to make it.
I mean, you want to put yourself in a good position to make it.
Right. You don't want to be the 4 seed playing that 1 seed. You want to be the 2 seed or the 3 seed or that 1 seed.
Yeah, but there's also a world where you can be good enough in the regular season to where if you get upset in the tournament, someone else gets the automatic qualifier. We're still going to get an at-large. I think there was a world where Princeton, if they just rolled through the Ivy League,
and then they got upset,
maybe the final or the semifinal of the conference tournament.
They might have been that 11
They could have made an at-large bid.
That at-large, like 11 play-in, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that's a world now because they just lost to Cornell. But
well, once you figure out how the bracket is set up, the 5 seed is like the kryptonite of where you don't want to be because the 12 seed is the benchmark.
12 through 16 is nothing but automatic qualifiers.
Automatic qualifiers from lower level conferences.
Mid-majors.
So the 12 seed is basically the best team that got the automatic qualifier from a lower division who really is like hungry and wants to go at it. And like you can even have that with another 13 seed or so.
Yeah, I mean that's why there's so many 5-12 upsets
because
in the tournament because a lot of 5 seeds get overrated.
And
a lot of 12 seeds are
underrated, where they should be around like maybe that 8 or 9 or 7-10 mark.
Yeah, and that's part of the beauty. I know we're still in January, so we don't necessarily need to wax lyrical about this, but like that's part of what is A, so frustrating, but also B, so great about the tournament, is that it is picked by humans.
So it's an imperfect
picked by humans using off of an algorithm. I said that wrong, but you know what I mean. Using an algorithm to base their judgments off of.
Right.
And so it's wrong all the time.
Oh,
like,
1,000%.
Teams get snubbed that should not.
You also just look at like
the seeding's off all the time.
Well, also what's weird is that what they do is for the top 4 seeds in each bracket, they do it based off a region. Mm-hmm. So if you're the top 4 seed, you might look at it and go, "Oh, I want to go play out west because that's where all the bad teams are usually, historically speaking." But if you're the top 4 seed, you'll get put in the east because it's geographically closer for you, so it allows for quote unquote a better home court advantage. But you're like, no.
I don't think they do that as much as they used to.
No, they do.
No, I know, but not as much as they used to because
in my opinion, it should be like the 1 seed should have the lowest 2 seed and the highest 3 seed. That's how it should work.
I mean, yeah, of course,
but it won't happen like that.
No, because also the NCAA they set up the tournament, they set up the brackets for storylines.
Well, it also should be like 1, 8, 9, 16. That's how it should be. The lowest 4 should have the highest 1. The highest 2 should have like the highest 3. You know, it should be balanced in that sense.
Yeah, but it never is.
No,
for multiple reasons. For multiple reasons.
But that's like quote unquote the most level playing field.
Yeah.
Bracket.
But never is that way, and it never will be that way.
No. We'll get to that.
They got to get those storylines in the.
Can we just get to like March 15th or whatever?
Oh yeah, it's because our teams suck. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that now.
All right.
Our team. So we are Louisville fans. Mm-hmm. God, does Louisville suck? Kenny Payne, Jeff Goodman wrote an article. Mm-hmm. Of the worst coaching hires for Power 6 basketball.
Louisville is number 1.
Yeah. Louisville, Kenny Payne is number 1.
I know.
If we're going off of pure coaching ability, yes. But he's not because number 2 is the guy at New Mexico State last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. That guy was in his first year of coaching.
Try to hide a gun, right?
One of his players killed someone in self-defense, but he tried to cover it up and hid the gun and told none of his players to cooperate with the police, and they had to pull over the bus
to arrest people.
To like search the bus, and then they found the gun. Mm-hmm. And then that didn't end the season. What ended up ending the season was that he was letting rampant hazing going on, and so because Jeff Goodman clearly took into account off the court stuff, I don't know how that guy's not number one. That's a sidebar. If we're going off of pure coaching, Kenny Payne is the worst. Kenny Payne might be the worst coaching hire of all time. He's terrible. Because of that, our season has kind of sucked. And so we're gonna assign each other random teams. Not random. We'll pick them. I guess we'll cater it a little bit towards each other.
I got it.
We're gonna assign each other teams that have a chance to at least do something in the tournament, so we can have some sort of rooting interest.
I got you.
And I guess I'll assign you your team first.
All right, I got yours.
I'm gonna give you. I'm tempted to do Florida Atlantic just because that was your.
Dude, they suck.
I know.
They suck now.
I'm not giving you FAU. I'm not giving you Arizona too. That was another choice.
Arizona's fun to watch. They got Caleb Love.
They do. I'm gonna give you Alabama.
I can ride with that.
Yeah, that's your team. Nate Oates. Nate Oates and the Crimson Tide.
Mark Sears, let's go, baby. Come on,
Mark Sears is good.
He's a very good point guard. Absolutely.
Man.
You gave me like a really good one. I wasn't gonna go that friendly with it.
Okay.
I mean, still.
They have to do more work to like solidify themselves as a tournament team.
Yeah. So I'll do the same thing. Where I feel like they're in right now. They're playing hot. They got a really high tempo. They play up speed, up tempo. You're getting New Mexico.
New Mexico? I wanted Marquette. It's fine. It's fine. I'll take New Mexico.
No. Look at New Mexico. Really good offense.
Give me Richard Pitino, man. They're
Really
right
good
here.
offense. Their tempo. They're fast. They move.
It's Pitino, yeah.
Oh, it's good basketball right now. And honestly, I think they're going to win the Mountain West. So,
yeah, they probably will.
I think it's between them, Utah State, and San Diego State. Some big games coming up this week. San Diego State, Utah State play each other. It'll be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, they've protected home very well this year, and I think they'll continue to do that.
All right. Go Lobos, baby. Richard Pitino, my guy.
Blitz, Bama, blitz, baby.
It feels like home.
I love America, and I love the Tide.
I don't know why, but I really wanted Marquette. They're up and down, too.
You want Tyler Collect? Go for it.
No. You gave me New Mexico. I'm sticking with New Mexico.
I think it's a fun one. Marquette.
New Mexico. I mean, New Mexico and Marquette are pretty similar. They both run fast offenses and they both press.
Do they? Is Marquette's fast?
Oh yeah, they're pretty fast, and they press. Adjusted tempo is 84.
Also got the metrics to win a national championship.
They do.
Top 40 and top 25. Top 40
It's top 40 offense.
Top 40 offense, top 25 defense.
Yeah, I mean, defense is more important, I think,
Yeah.
as far as making a tournament run. But
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We got our teams until March.
Yeah, absolutely. I was this close to giving you BYU, by the way.
I would have lost my mind.
I decided to be a little nicer.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do another terrible team. DePaul, the Blue Demons.
They know when to part ways with a bad coach, at least.
Yeah. DePaul fired Tony Stubblefield. DePaul's just god awful under Stubblefield. He's so bad.
Have they won a game against like a top 200 Ken Pom team or something?
Yeah, Louisville.
Are we not top 200?
Yep. We're like
How about that?
Like 185. We might have lowered since then, but yeah.
Love to hear it.
So,
but anyway,
Stubblefield finally got fired. He was not good. He was not good in the slightest.
He started off at 3-16, so
yeah.
Louisville finally got their top 200 win against Miami.
Yep. Where does Louisville rank? I'm trying to see. They're 197. They're 197.
We're 207.
207?
Very top next to Louisville.
Oh, we've dropped.
Yeah.
We were in 197 going into the Virginia game. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So it's the time of year. I think we're going to go through some teams. I'm going to give you some names. Give you
Fire
some teams,
away.
And you're going to tell me whether you think they are on the hot seat or not.
Go for it.
Let's start with the ACC. I'm going to skip past Louisville.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. That's why. Clemson. Brad Brownell.
No.
You don't think he's on the hot seat?
I don't think he'll be let go. I think they still got the season's not over for them just yet. I think if they can figure it out, they got a good player. And what is his name? R.J. Hall, I think is his name.
B.J. Hall.
B.J. Hall, and I really think they still have a chance to make a tournament. They just got to figure it out sooner rather than later.
All right. I mean, the fans wanted him gone after last season. And, I mean, it's Clemson. They don't really care about basketball.
Right.
But so
I mean, the offense has been good. It's just the defense is the issue.
Defense is not good. They are, what's their record in conference? They're 3-5 in conference. It's bad.
It sure
That's
is.
bad.
Against a bad ACC this year.
All right, next up, Kevin Keats at NC State.
I don't really know enough about NC State. They've always just seemed to be mediocre. I guess based off of that assumption, how long has he been there?
He's been there for years. Since like 2017-ish.
Sure, he's on the hot seat.
Do you think he gets fired?
I mean, the only reason I don't know enough because it's one of those where it's like, do you fire a guy if you know you can get someone better?
Let me give you a little bit of background on Kevin Keats. He used to be Rick Pitino's top assistant at Louisville. He was a very, very, very highly touted name in coaching circles. A lot of people, myself included, were very high on him, thought he was going to be a very good head coach. He got to NC State, immediately started recruiting very well, got Dennis Smith Jr.
I was about to say, I remember Dennis Smith Jr.
He got some other guys that were good. Didn't really win a lot. They were exactly what you said. They were just
they're mediocre.
Most years they were mediocre. They had, 2 really bad years sprinkled in there, but most years they've been mediocre, and the recruiting has also fallen off a little bit. I mean, you look to NC State's roster, they don't have those top guys.
Even historically speaking, it's like, when was the last time NC State was good?
I mean, they won the championship with Jimmy V.
Yeah, but that was a Cinderella. They weren't even like a great team. They just went on a run and got hot. So I mean, everyone remembers that 84 team it was or whatever it was. I forget what year they won it.
They played Houston, Phi Slamma Jamma. They beat them.
Right.
The whole locally.
Because of Bob.
Everyone here says the Final Four matchup before that one was Houston and Louisville, which are 2 of the fastest paced teams at that time, and the Final Four was held in Albuquerque, where the
New Mexico,
the elevation is very high, doesn't ever get talked about, very high elevation, and so
you're saying that was a factor for
everyone, and then NC State under Jimmy V ran a very slow tempo.
Oh,
it is a thing in Louisville. Everyone says, Jimmy V only got his championship because we wore down Phi Slamma Jamma and Elijah wanted them. Oh. It's just what old people say in Louisville.
Well,
you don't think he's on the hot seat or no? Do you think he'll get fired?
Sure, he'll get fired because he's been mediocre for so long.
I think so too.
Also,
and they're an okay program.
The other thing about it is I don't know if they're an okay program.
They're a good program.
I don't think I've ever penciled in NC State to move on in the bracket since I've been alive.
Well, maybe
you know
that's
what I
on
mean?
You. But all right, next up, final one in the ACC. I'm gonna go Virginia Tech.
No,
you don't think Virginia Tech is on the hot seat?
No,
Mike Young.
They haven't had there's nothing to say They've just lost to good teams. There's nothing there that's been a poor loss or anything.
You're right, honestly.
There's nothing there that's
maybe that's the indictment, though.
I mean, they've just won the games they should have won. They've lost the games they should have lost. They're just doing what they should be doing. They're not exceeding expectations, but they're not below expectations.
Yeah. And it is Virginia Tech. They're not crazy into basketball. They're definitely more of a football school.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the Big 12. Let's see who we got. Rodney Terry of Texas. Think he's on the hot seat? They're not that good this year. I don't think they're going to make the tournament.
They
could.
I mean,
I think they're a 10 seed at best.
Yeah. No, they'll make the tournament. He's not fired.
Okay.
Honestly, the Big 12 is just so rough this year. I only think there's 3 teams that are making it in UCF, West Virginia, and Oklahoma State. I think everyone else is pretty much making it.
All right. Poser Mosey. Posey Moser. Said that wrong. Posey Moser at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, not State. Oklahoma. The
No.
Sooners.
No, Oklahoma's good. They're not great, but they're good.
All right. He's been there for 3 years. He's not brought the success that they wanted. He came from Loyola Chicago, had that Final Four run.
Right. I mean, you just got to get lucky in the tournament sometimes.
Yeah.
Luck's got to be on your side.
All right. That's kind of it for the Big 12.
Right, I mean, Big 12's
Teams
really
are good. Yeah.
And, like, West Virginia, hopefully they find their coach next year. Do
Well,
they have an interim or did they hire?
They have an interim. Reports are they're going after Steve Forbes,
Where is he coach?
Wake Forest.
Oh,
That's a good get.
It could be a good get.
That's a good get.
Yeah.
And I could see why Steve Forbes would want to leave Wake Forest.
Right.
ACC is showing no signs of getting better at basketball.
No, it's bang average right now.
Which is crazy considering the history of the ACC.
Well, also you just got like one of your top programs is in the dumpster fire right now.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Big East. DePaul just got fired. Sean Miller at Xavier.
Sean Miller's at Xavier?
Yep.
Huh. Didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I feel like he just got there because he was just now getting in trouble for DeAndre Ayton at Arizona.
I think this is his second year, yeah.
Nah, give it time. 2 years is not enough to build anything.
All right. Speaking of 2 years, Kyle Neptune at Villanova.
I mean, he just replaced the GOAT. I mean, what are they? I mean, realistically, what do you expect? I mean,
he's had talent. He has had NBA-worthy talent. You cannot deny that.
Who has he had the last 2 years from Villanova?
Cam, what's his face? It's not Wilson. Cam something. Got drafted by the Rockets, I think.
Talking about Cam Whitmore?
Yeah.
He went to UConn.
No,
Cam Whitmore, I thought, went to UConn.
There was a guy that got drafted
from
Villanova.
I thought his name Cam Whitmore. He's on that national championship team.
So, do you think that they are on the hot seat?
No. It's the same thing with Sean Miller. It's too soon. I believe in
Cam Whitmore played at Villanova.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, I stand corrected. So I did get the name right at least.
You did, yeah.
But no, give it like 3 years max. After a third year, if it's not figured out, unless it's absolutely atrocious like Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
All right, and that's it. You know, I'm not even going to entertain Thad Matta at Butler. They're okay this year. So moving on. Muss at Arkansas. Eric Musselman.
It's interesting because they had good years. They're just having a down year right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I mean, with Arkansas, is it okay to have one down year to have some really good years?
I mean, he's been to the last 3 Elite Eights.
Right, I know. So I mean, like, no, because like you have a good coach there. You just don't have the players right now. There's nobody on Arkansas that wows me this year in any capacity.
Al Ellis?
No, get out of here. It's like, it is nice though to see guys who were at Louisville doing better. I think Josh Nickelberry's at FSU.
Yeah, he's kind of a bench player, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, but it's nice to see him get minutes against UNC and stuff like that. But, no, Arkansas, no, definitely not. You can have one bad year.
All right.
You're not going to fire a coach that's brought you 3 Elite Eights just because he had down year and doesn't have the talent.
Okay.
Because you know the coach is there.
Yeah. This is an interesting one. LSU, Matt McMahon.
That big man.
This is his second year at LSU.
Right, because they got rid of Will Wade.
Yes.
Because of recruiting violations. There's some violations they got rid of him for.
Yes.
And
for his good-ass deal.
Yeah, and he's doing really good at
McNeese State.
Yeah,
he's a very good coach.
He's killing it.
Objectively, he's a good coach.
Will Wade is, that's up. You kind of wish you didn't have to fire him. Once again, one more year. One more year sucks.
Yeah. And I think he got thrown into a really bad situation. Because
definitely.
Everybody left.
Yeah.
Everybody left.
Yeah. Give it one more year if he can't figure it out within year 3.
And they started off last season 14-1.
Oh.
And then I don't think they won a game in the SEC, but
that's tough.
Yeah.
They pulled in.
Moving on, let's go Mike White at Georgia.
Don't know enough about Georgia, honestly. Don't even know enough about Mike White. Really.
Mike White, I believe, former Virginia Tech coach, former Florida coach, too.
Huh.
Left I remember if he was fired or not from Virginia Tech.
I wouldn't say so. I feel like Georgia's got a decent team this year, and they're competing in the SEC, which is a tough conference. I don't think so.
All right.
I mean, they're right there with Mississippi, Florida, and South Carolina, who are all, for the most part, tournament teams, I feel like.
Okay. All right, then.
Would you agree with that one?
Yeah. I mean, it's not – Georgia's a tough place to win at. You know, Georgia's not an easy place to win at, but they are absolutely trying. You know, they hired Tom Crean years ago. They brought in Mike White. They're trying to win a basketball. It's just it's not an easy place.
Right. Who we got next? Big Ten?
Moving on to the Big Ten. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. Here we go. Michigan. Jesus Christ.
You good?
Yeah. Juwan Howard.
Should have been gone. Should have been fired yesterday. Should have been fired the week before that. Should have been fired the week before that. He's like Kenny Payne right now. Everyone in Ann Arbor wants him gone. I mean, he had that one good year where he was on fire when he first started.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, it just has not looked like good hires. There's a take where a lot of those hires, where it was former players going to their things, it looked like the trend to do because Juwan Howard was on fire. Ewing looked good at Georgetown for a period of time.
At the beginning.
No, exactly. All these coaches look good at the beginning, and then they just tapered off, and I don't know what it is. Same thing with Kenny Payne. I mean, he didn't look good at the start, and he hasn't looked good now. But for some reason, these hires were very popular 2 years ago, and they looked really good. And now they just look god-awful.
Yeah, I think it's a thing of, like, nostalgia is definitely part of the factor.
I mean, but honestly, I don't know why it's like, usually it's the exact opposite when you're trying to build something. Usually it's like you suck and then you get better. But these guys started out with something and
I think when you're a former player, especially if you are the caliber of player that like Juwan Howard, Patrick Ewing, Kenny Payne were.
Right, national championship players.
National championship first-round draft picks.
Right.
You're going to immediately attract attention as far as recruits go. And you're going to get the talent right away. And just when they slowly see you can't coach, people slowly are like, I don't want to go there.
Right.
Because last year, Michigan had 3 NBA guys on their team. Hunter Dickinson, who I think will go to the NBA. I don't know what he'll do there, but I think he'll go. Hunter Dickinson, and then his 2 kids, Jet and something else, Howard. Like, they were good. They're talented. They didn't make the tournament.
Right.
This is the 3rd year in a row where they're not good.
Yeah, he should have been gone mid-December, honestly.
I mean, he didn't coach the beginning of the year because he had heart complications.
I know, but the team is where Michigan and Louisville are in similar situations where they're not where they should be or historically should be. These are programs that have historically got some good name recognition, and they're just dead last in their conferences.
Yeah. All right. Next, I'm going to go – oh, shoot, I just lost his name. Rutgers, Steve Piquel.
No clue.
He has been there since 2017. They really haven't done much.
Wait, he's been at Rutgers since 2017?
Yes.
Yeah, get him gone.
He is starting to get recruiting going, though. He's got 2 5-stars committed to him.
Oh, that's right. Yes, he's got all right. Give him one more year. He's got hope on his side.
All right.
Nothing like them stars coming in.
All right.
Because basketball's the one thing where you can get a couple of good players, make a run out of it.
Yes. Next, we're going to go Ohio State. Their coach is Chris Holtmann. He's a guy that started off really well at Ohio State. A lot of people, he came in such a weird situation. They fired Thad Matta. A couple months before the season started, they brought in Holtmann. It looked very promising at first. It kind of, for Ohio State, it looked like, oh my God, did this guy just fall into our laps? And he's just gotten worse and worse and worse. And they are currently sitting at 13-7. 3-6 in the Big Ten.
It's borderline, but it's also like, I would say no right now because, I mean, like, there's still hope within the season. I mean, you're 3-6. You're kind of sucking right now in the Big Ten. Big Ten, though, outside of the top 4, though, I don't know if any are tournament teams. Michigan State could be a tournament team. Maryland could be a tournament team. But really, it's Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, and Wisconsin. That's where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're saying not yet? He could. Do you think he could be fired at the end of the year?
Yeah, he could
But
be.
it depends on what their prospects towards the tournament look like a little bit.
I mean, you got to see how this month does in February still.
All right.
Still a lot more
Let's
to go.
Move on to IU. We got Mike Woodson.
Yes.
This is year number 3 for Mike Woodson? Yes, it is, because he came a year before Kenny.
Yeah, he's gone.
Do you think so?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
There's rumblings. I mean,
I don't think they're going to fire him, personally.
I don't think there's anything that looks promising about Indiana right now. There's nothing since
great.
Mike Woodson's tenure that has shown me that Indiana is a good basketball team.
It's better than it was.
Yeah.
Under
and you got
Archie Miller.
Yeah, you got guys knocking on the door who want to come.
Yeah, Dusty May wants that job.
But right now, FAU looks like crap. I don't know if I would make that hire. I mean, it's better than what Indiana's shown, but at the same time, it's like I was high on FAU, and now I'm like, ugh. They're winning games, but they're winning games in such ugly fashion that it's going to come and bite them eventually because it's just the competition's so poor.
All right. I don't know. Fran McCaffrey at Iowa, you think he's on the hot seat or no?
I don't know enough about him.
He's been there forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing great. They haven't really been that good since Luka Garza.
Yeah, Luke Garza, yeah.
Is it Luke or Luka?
I think it's just Luke.
Luke Garza, yeah. They haven't been that good since Garza was there.
Yeah, shout out G League MVP.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one unfortunate thing about college basketball greats.
Yeah.
Is that if you're big and you post up on the block and you get 20 a night, that doesn't translate to the NBA.
Game's gone by, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the same thing will happen to Hunter Dickinson. You don't have he's the exact same caliber of player. Zach Edey.
So what are you thinking? Fran McCaffrey here to stay or no?
Fire.
He's been there forever. I don't know if they're going to do that. But
he's got tenure all of a sudden? Because he
might. Two quick notable I'll just say two notable coaches in the Big Ten that I'm not mentioning because they have kind of coached themselves into job security is Greg Gard at Wisconsin and Fred Hoiberg at Nebraska.
Really? Wisconsin, I don't think ever should have been on the bubble. They really wanted his neck?
Yes.
Really?
A lot of people at the beginning of the year were not happy with Greg Gard.
Really?
They were very unhappy.
Seems very knee-jerky. Wisconsin, I feel like, has always produced good teams.
They were not great last year.
Yeah, but once again, it's like Arkansas. You have a good coach, one bad year happens.
All right, well, this is the final Power 6. Andy Enfield at USC.
No clue. How long has he been there?
He's been there for some years. He's had success there when other coaches have not.
Yo, they're dead last.
They're not good this year, and they have the most talent since he has been there, which is absurd to me. I was so high on USC this year.
What talent do they have? All I know is Bronny James because
they got Bronny, who he's
mid. Yeah,
he could turn into a good college player. He could turn into a role player in the NBA. But they've got Isaiah Collier, number 1 recruit last class. He's very good. They've got Boogie Ellis. They've got that big whose name I cannot think of. Let me look it up. Vincent Iwuchukwu.
Okay.
Yeah. He was a former 5-star recruit. He's 7'1". They've got Dennis Rodman's kid.
Oh, okay.
One of them, I guess.
Dude, they've just not won games.
They
lost 5 or 6 straight. It looks like
they are 8-12.
According to it, their offense sucks in the conference. What about their defense? Scroll down.
Defense is probably not that good either.
Scroll down. Yeah, second to the bottom in defense and second to the bottom in offense. They just suck in the Pac-12.
So what do you think?
In the Pac-12, that's very poor.
Yeah.
What's his recruiting class looking like?
I mean, he's gotten recruiting going. Like, LA's a pretty, it's
Right,
definitely
desirable
a
place.
fairly talent-rich environment. But
Click on USC. I want to see their history with him. Click on him as a coach.
he's been there since 2014. He was the guy at Florida Gulf Coast.
Oh. Fun.
Yeah. He likes the warm weather.
I mean, one more year. You can have one bad year.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's one terrible year.
One bad year.
One
All right,
terrible
it's-
year where they
it's
had...
the same thing. It's one of those where it's like, all right, you fumbled, you struggled, fix it. If
with
you
a
can't,
lot of talent, though.
and if you can't fix it, I mean, talent schmalent. It's stars on a paper. It's stars. Who's given those stars? That's the one thing I have an issue with.
Yeah, but Isaiah Collier is really good. Have you watched USC?
No, I haven't.
He is really good.
Is it bad that this year, because of late night games being on, I've just been turning on the Mountain West. I haven't really been paying attention to
No,
that
Mountain West is good.
unless it's Arizona playing.
No, Mountain West is good. All
Yeah.
right. Moving on, Washington, Mike Hopkins. He was the heir apparent to Boeheim in Syracuse, but Boeheim just lasted so long, he ended up taking the job at Washington. Got out to a fantastic start at Washington. Has done a great job recruiting there. It has gotten worse seemingly every year.
Mm.
And they are currently sitting at 12-9.
They
Easily out of the tournament picture.
yeah.
Washington doesn't really have a history.
Was he the one who had Markel Fultz?
Yep. He had Markel Fultz. He
They
had
didn't make
DeJounte Murray. He had
Really? DeJounte Murray went to Washington? I didn't know that.
Keon Minifield, who transferred to...
Because Fultz was the number one
Arkansas?
overall pick, and they didn't even make the tournament that year.
Mm-hmm.
My writing might be on the wall. I mean, if you can produce talent, but we're not here to produce talent. We're here to win games and make it to the tournament and do something.
Mm-hmm.
At least as a fan, that's what I want. I want to see win games. I could care less how the kid does in the NBA.
Do you think he's getting fired?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right. I would not be shocked if he got fired. I don't know if he will get fired just because Washington doesn't really have that history.
Well, also they're going to a better conference too.
And they're, yeah. You're
It
right.
could be one of those where it becomes a more desirable location because it's a better basketball conference they're heading to.
Maybe.
Or do they become the Rutgers of the world who
Yeah.
get beat on? But then Rutgers now got a good recruiting class.
Yeah, but they've also sucked.
Right, exactly. So
We'll see.
do they become the punching bag of the Big Ten in basketball? Or
This is your guy up next.
go for it.
Mickey C. Mick Cronin. Mick
No.
Cronin at UCLA. You don't think he's on the hot seat?
They just went to a Final Four. No.
They went to a Final Four 3 years ago.
Was
2
it-
years ago was the Elite Eight. Year before, it was Sweet 16.
They just had Jaime
Jaime Jaquez.
is that how you say his junior?
Jaime Jaquez. Yeah, it's junior, yes.
Right, but that was a good team
Triple
last year.
J. Triple
It's
J.
one of those, you can have a bad year. Mick is a good coach.
I agree with you.
I don't think you fire him off of one bad year. You could have just lost talent and it's a
Yeah.
rebuild.
His buyout, by the way, is like $24 million. So if he
No.
gets fired,
He's a good
UCLA has
coach.
to pay $24 million.
He's a good coach. See what he does in the Big Ten next year. I mean, honestly, no. Not yet. You can have one bad year. It's like
All right.
it's like Musselman at Arkansas. I think
Okay.
it's crazy to fire a coach after one bad year.
Well, we're going to move on to Bobby Hurley at Arizona State.
Bobby Hurley's at Arizona
Mm-hmm.
State.
Danny Hurley's brother.
Also a really good point guard at Duke. I don't know. I didn't know he was there.
Yeah.
How long has he been there?
He's been there for a little bit. He had some success there, but it's kind of tapered off. He's been there since 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 23 win season in 2019.
He seems like a mediocre coach.
23 win season last year.
I would get him gone. He seems like a mediocre coach. The best they've done is what, an 11-10 seed in the tournament?
Yeah.
That can't be what you're striving for.
All right, so you're saying he's out?
He should be. I mean, the best you've done is a 10 seed, unless you feel like that's your ceiling as an Arizona State conference.
Yeah. Well, those are the power conferences. There's just too many mid-majors to go through, but you heard it here first. Those are the guys getting fired.
Yeah.
If you were, okay, just real quick before we move on to the pick'ems.
Sure.
If you were a coach, or if you were an athletic director for a school that could get reasonably anyone they want.
So Louisville.
Yeah. Versus you're an athletic director that kind of has some limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a Wake Forest.
Right.
Who are you going after in those two situations? Just out of curiosity.
So, like, for a mid-major,
well, Wake Forest is not a mid-major.
well, I'm just saying, like, in the sense of, like, historically not blue-bloody, but, like, should be somewhat team competing for the tournament every year.
Most years, yeah.
Let me look at this, because historically speaking, I just want to make sure. I know programs that have been historically good. I just want to see if the coach has been there for a while. I would look at a team like Drake and Darren DeVries for like a Wake Forest, or even like Indiana State's coach this year has been good. Josh Schultz, I mean, he's improved that squad tremendously. I would even look towards teams in like the Mountain West to try and poach from.
Yeah. Richard Pitino.
Richard Pitino would be an interesting
of my
one.
Favorite team.
He's done very well this year. If you can get Brian Dutcher.
I don't think he's leaving San Diego State.
No, but I'm just saying, like, if you can, that's like my Wake Forest options, I would say. Maybe if you want to get, if Will Wade will leave McNeese State.
He would 100% leave McNeese State.
Then I would say I would go get Will Wade.
Will Wade is gunning for the Louisville job.
I would say he's
pretty publicly.
He's a solid coach.
Oh, he's a very good coach.
He's showing
he will cheat.
Yeah.
You know that's going to come with them.
Now, as far as like a Louisville job-esque, I want to go after a guy who's been there, done that. So, like, I would say like a if I can go get like a Nate Oates, or like or if you want to do like a Bruce Pearl, or if you can really get like a Scott Drew.
Yeah.
If you can get now this won't happen, a Mark Few.
No, Mark Few's never leaving.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, like, if you can go get those types of guys, if you can go get a
Shaheen Holloway?
No.
I like Shaheen Holloway.
But he's not. No.
He's an alum of Seton Hall.
Right.
It's going to be pretty tough to get him away from Seton Hall.
I mean, Shaka Smart would be interesting, but I don't think he's got the resume.
The Texas is the only thing that scares.
Yeah, absolutely. For like a Louisville, I mean, as far as like high points look very good this year for like a Wake Forest. Alan Huss, I mean, give it more years. First year coaching, that's a name to watch.
I mean, I would go after someone. If I were in a Wake Forest situation, I would probably go after like Dusty May.
I would go.
I know they don't. They're not having a great year.
Russell Turner's a name that's interesting for like a Wake Forest job.
Maybe.
I mean, it's just guys that consistently have performed well in like lower levels. Southern, you got Sanford right now is really good.
All right. You want to move on to the pick'ems?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. We got the pick'ems. Basketball pick'ems.
Sorry, I couldn't really give you like defined answers, but I'm just like, I don't know names. I just know teams, and like I don't know who their coaches are.
All right. Well, we got the pick'ems. Starting off, we got South Carolina at Tennessee. South Carolina, big week. I think they're in my top 25 this week. They only have 3 losses.
2?
We didn't mention that, but combined between the women's and the men's team, South Carolina only has 3 losses.
Yeah, they are currently.
Yeah. The men are really slacking. They're like 38-3 or something like that.
36 and 3 combined. Yeah.
Yeah.
One's 19, I think one's 17-3, something like that.
Yeah. I'm taking Tennessee.
Oh yeah, taking Tennessee at home. I don't think Tennessee's lost at home.
Yeah. Illinois at Ohio State. Illinois, they lost a game. You know, they
got their best player back.
They do, but kind of floundering a little bit. Ohio State really not moving in the right direction.
I'm going Illinois.
I'm taking Ohio State.
There you
go. All right, next we've got Oklahoma at Kansas State. Oklahoma really moving in the wrong direction. Kansas State,
they need a
fight.
They had a tough game.
Yeah, they had a tough week.
Yeah.
They played a good game against Iowa State, but that's a tough place to win. They also got destroyed by Houston, like he was alluding to. I'm going Kansas State, though.
Yeah.
Both of these teams are coming off of losing 2 games.
I'm joining you on the train.
The Tang train.
The Tang train.
Hey, man, there's plenty of seats.
Tang train.
There's heated seats, too. It's great. The conductor's lovely.
Is he now?
Yeah. He's a short man who's real charismatic.
All right.
Okay, San Diego State at Colorado State. I'm going San Diego State.
I want San Diego State to win.
I just don't think Colorado State plays too slow a tempo.
They've also just fallen off right now recently.
Yeah.
They went from arguably the best team in the Mountain West, it looks like, to like probably the worst of the teams that could possibly get into the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you going San Diego State?
Yep.
As am I. This is a fun one. A rematch of the first
Big
loss
Tens.
of Purdue's season. One of 2 losses, Northwestern at Purdue.
This one was at Northwestern. I believe it went into overtime.
I think so. And
For the
then
first
I think
game, yeah.
Northwestern pulled away in overtime.
I think it's a 4-point margin now. It's like 92-88 or something.
Maybe, I don't know. But
Purdue's going to get revenge.
I think so, too.
It's also at home for Purdue,
Yeah.
so I just don't see why they would lose this game. But yeah.
Yeah.
Overtime, 92-88. Man, I'm on it right now with the numbers.
You're a numbers guy. What can I say?
What can I say?
Next
Okay.
up, we got Princeton at Yale, the Ivies. The Ivies.
Sure is.
It's for first.
Technically, it was
Sort
at a moment in time. We got ahead of ourselves in that one.
Yeah.
Sorry. I got ahead of myself when I was putting these games
This is
in.
for good position. Whoever loses this probably drops down to 3rd in the Ivy League.
Yeah. Second place in the Ivy League it will be. Because, unless Yale wins.
Princeton and Yale.
Yep.
I'm taking Princeton.
It's at Yale, but Princeton should win this game.
I like their talent. They're coming off a loss. I think they're going to rebound. When I say rebound, I mean I don't mean literally rebound the ball well, which I think they'll do. They've got good talent. Xavier Lee, I'm a big fan of him.
There you go.
Princeton easy. Next, we got San Diego State again, but this time it's Utah State at San Diego State.
And this one's a big one, too. It's
Potentially for first place in the Mountain West.
well, you also got Boise State, and you're also contending on San Diego State beating Colorado State first as well as Utah State doing the job. I'm hoping for a good week for the Aztecs. Give me San Diego State.
I'm going to take Utah State.
Interesting. Away of all places, too.
I know.
I don't think you realize how hard it is to win away in college basketball.
I do. It's very tough.
It is very hard.
It's very tough. I'm aware of that. I just
This is one of those games, if it's vice versa, I'm picking Utah
Why do you think I
State.
picked Ohio State over Illinois?
Oh, I get you. Absolutely.
All right. Well, next up we got Houston at Kansas.
It's supposed to be a bigger game than what it is right now because of Kansas. losing a couple.
dropping a few.
This is the one team that can really beat Kansas at the Fieldhouse. I truly believe that. So I'm going Houston. But golly,
I'm going with Kansas.
I could see it. I'm not betting against Houston just yet.
This is not on the weekend, I believe. This is a
Thursday night.
Thursday game.
Or Friday. Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. Well,
We missed our Saturday. Oh, I'll check it.
Well, I think they're going to rebound. I think they're going to be pretty amped for that game.
Yeah.
I think Houston obviously is going to be excited too.
It is on Saturday.
Oh, it is a Saturday game.
It is a Saturday.
If they
game.
got Oklahoma State in front of them, they're going to wax Oklahoma State.
They sure do. They should wax them.
Yeah. So I'm taking Kansas. I think they're going to win. Next up, we've got the Missouri Valley. That would be Drake at Indiana State.
Oh, I like Indiana State.
I do too. Drake beat him the first time around. It's at Indiana State this time around.
I like Indiana State to win the Missouri Valley regular season.
So do I. Duke at North Carolina. They always prop this one up as the best rivalry in college basketball. I don't think it is, personally, but, it's good games.
Sure.
I'm going North Carolina.
I don't see how you can't.
I have them as my number 2 team in the country. Really? Yes, I'm very high on North Carolina.
So what do you got? UConn,
UNC, and then I think Purdue.
It's not bad. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have no issue with that rankings at all.
They play defense, and that's something that Tar Heel teams never do.
I think right now, yeah, I'm with you. I'm going UNC as well. I honestly think there's like 7 teams right now. You could put 1 to 7 in any order, really.
I mean, I'm pretty high on UConn.
I mean, it's like
Danny Hurley's a great coach.
UConn, Purdue, Houston, UNC. You can throw Tennessee in there, I feel like. And I said 7, but I only named 5. Because there's really only 5. Yeah. 5.
All right. Well, next up, we've got Iowa State at Baylor.
Ooh.
Iowa State trending in the right direction. Baylor kind of trending in the wrong direction. They need to turn things around. It is away from Iowa State. It is not.
Where they have struggled.
Yeah, it's not in Ames. It's in Waco, and I think because of that, I'm going to take Baylor. I would not be shocked if Iowa State won, but I feel good about Baylor.
Let's go Cyclones.
All right.
Why not?
Next up, we've got Tennessee at Kentucky.
This is a fun one. This is a real fun one.
See, I can tell you what my heart wants.
Oh, I know what my heart wants too. If it was reversed, I know exactly who I was picking. I'm still going to go Tennessee. I still think Kentucky's very good. They still have some questions on defense for me. Tennessee, I feel like, is a more complete team at the moment. I think it'll be interesting to see what Kentucky can do now they have Big Z back and everything, and what can be developed from that. I'm going with Tennessee, but I think Kentucky could definitely win this game as well.
I am going to take Kentucky. I hate it.
You said Kentucky.
Know.
So defeated.
It's at Rupp.
It sure is.
They've got talent. They didn't have Rob Dillingham against Arkansas. They got destroyed at South Carolina. They had a bad week, even though they went 1-1. It was a bad week, but I think they're gonna right the ship a little bit, especially when they play Kentucky. Even though technically they were on College Game Day this past weekend. They pick those preseason. Do you know that?
What?
College Game Day sites.
Oh.
They pick for basketball. They pick them preseason. For football, they pick them on the fly.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. But that's why you got a not very good Arkansas team hosting College Game Day. All right, so yeah, no, it hurts, but it's fine. Next, we've got St. Mary's at Gonzaga for
we didn't
first
agree to
place
this.
potentially in the West Coast Conference.
Yeah, we didn't agree to this, but this is my game of the week.
Sure, I'll take it. I don't want to give it to Duke, North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Give me the Zags.
I want Gonzaga to win, but they just haven't impressed me from what I've watched. And St. Mary's is trending in the right direction with that defense. Give me St. Mary's to go in and defeat Gonzaga at home, which I think they've only done like once.
It's
very rare.
It's a rivalry that is very one-sided.
Where is Gonzaga play? What is it called?
Tacoma or the stadium?
The stadium.
I don't know actually. I don't remember. I know it was mentioned in a stat earlier this year that we even talked about, but
yes,
I don't remember the name.
It had to do with whatever. I should have had it.
All right, you got St. Mary's, I got Gonzaga.
Yep.
Next, we got Purdue at Wisconsin. Wisconsin is actually number 1 in the Big Ten right now.
Sure are.
Yeah, Greg Gard really saved his job, unless of course he collapses down the stretch. I'm going Purdue.
I am too. Purdue's so good.
Purdue is very good. Wisconsin's fine.
Wisconsin, you could argue is a top 10 team.
Yeah.
You could argue it, but I feel like the gap between the top 5 and everyone else is pretty big right now.
Yeah. All right, and then finally we've got a Monday game because we record on Mondays. Yeah. So we got Kansas at Kansas State.
Tang Trang, baby.
I know I want Kansas State to win so bad. I'm picking Kansas because I don't think Kansas State has the talent.
It's at Kansas State.
It is at Kansas State.
I think you.
What's Ken Palm got?
2-point loss.
Yeah.
Kansas to win.
Yeah, I've got Kansas. I'm taking Kansas.
I don't know. It's at home. Yeah, let's let it ride.
Look at the end. They got a tough stretch at the end. We're pointing to something that's not on the
Other
screen.
than West Virginia, it's Iowa State. Oh my gosh, they are projected to win 2 more games.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Let's see if
I think they're gonna beat Oklahoma. But that's our show. That was our pick'ems. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, if you made it this far, please consider it.
If you made it this far, you probably already have. It's fine. Thank you. Bye-bye.